This was crazy. This was crazy. This news was crazy. Super crazy. Psychosis parts nerve. Bars.
Let's go ahead and start with this. Put it up here on the screen. His office announced
yours truly received a notification saying he passed away at 71. Crazy.
Passed away from a brief and a sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates
certain people I know are 71. They're still living, thankfully.
A follow-up from Senator Graham's office indicates that he died.
This is crazy, bro.
During this incredibly
this is all the way crazy.
A follow-up.
Run it back. Run it back.
Family appreciate prayers. Okay, turning now to Senator Lindsey.
Saagar is giving the people the news.
His office announced early on Sunday morning a statement from the office of Senator Graham. On the evening of Saturday, July 11th, Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and a
Republican.
Illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time. As for privacy, during this incredibly and a sudden illness, Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time.
Let me get this
as for privacy
done first. Rest in peace to Lindsey Graham. Genuinely, my condolences to his family, to his friends, to everybody who loved him, who was in his circle.
Years old and suffered a massive heart attack, which my medical friends tell me is, it's during this incredibly difficult period. A follow-up from screen. His office announced early on Sunday. Turning now to Senator Lindsey Graham. Let's go ahead and start with this. Put it up here on the screen. His office announced early on Sunday morning a statement from the office of Senator Graham. On the evening of Saturday, July 11th, Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and a sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time. As for privacy, during this incredibly difficult period, a follow-up.
This was reported. A brief and sudden illness. There was a call for a cardiac arrest.
During this incredibly difficult period, a follow-up from Senator Graham's office indicates that he died. This incredibly difficult period, a follow-up from Senator Graham's office indicates that he died from an. During this incredibly difficult period, a follow-up from Senator Graham's office indicates that he died from an aortic dissection after struggling with a cardiovascular disease.
Yep, arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease.
And a sudden illness, Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time. As for privacy, during this incredibly difficult period, a follow-up from Senator Graham's office indicates that he died from an aortic dissection after struggling with a cardiovascular disease. So he was 71 years old.
Terrible.
Suffered a massive heart attack.
Yep.
Which,
they said he was going through blood pressure issues, problems.
Tell me is, it's not unsurvivable, but it's very very difficult.
Yeah.
Attack, which my medical friends tell me is, it's not unsurvivable. During
the aorta, the aorta, A-O-R-T-A. It is the artery that carries blood
with a cardiovascular disease,
to the rest of the other parts of the body,
friends tell me is,
except for the lungs, the aorta.
Very difficult to survive.
It is they say, doctors, they say it is the inner part of the artery. The inner part of the artery.
After struggling with a cardiovascular disease. So he was 71 years old and suffered a massive heart attack, which my medical friends tell me is, it's not unsurvivable, but it's very, very difficult to survive. So obviously,
what I saw is if you aren't in a hospital, very unlikely you're going to make it.
Exactly.
It's terrible. It's scary.
Bad situation. Indicated aging, diet, etc. You should do. Your own research.
Lifestyle things.
Exactly. It's obviously bad situation. It's indicative aging, diet, etc.
Habits.
Your own research. Just in terms of 71 years old, it seems young, but if you don't take care of yourself, it's the type of things that can happen. But bigger picture, obviously, what has done is kind of thrown a wrench into domestic and international politics. Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, certain people are speculating, or they were. Certain people. Many people were speculating that he got poisoned. Iran tried to kill him. Russia tried to kill him. Graham, he was in Ukraine. He was in Kyiv. They said he just returned to the U.S. from Kyiv, Ukraine, KVIV, Ukraine. He was speaking with the president, Zelensky, in Kyiv, Ukraine. Yeah. You got people on X who are saying, you have people who were saying before the news that the aortic dissection befell, that Graham got poisoned. There was a plot to kill him. Iran plotted to kill him. Russia plotted to kill this dude. Yeah, there were many speculatory remarks. There was an abundance of skepticism. The skepticism was dispelled after it should be dispelled. It should be, but certain people are still going to say other things. That they're still going to say he got poisoned. There was a plot to kill him. Russia tried to kill him. Iran. Yeah, all of these speculatory. Yeah, all of these suppositions, these speculatory remarks, they are still going to be present. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is all the way crazy. Even though they said the preliminary cause is the aortic dissection caused by arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. Even though the preliminary cause is the aortic dissection caused by arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. It isn't the final cause, but it is the preliminary cause. It is this is the early cause, but people are still going to say he got poisoned. It is crazy. The conspiracy brains people, they will remain stubborn, but it is what it is. Yeah. People can say different things, but certain things don't make sense. Just wait for everything to appear, the facts to appear, but certain people, they can't, because they're all the way, they're all the way wild. It is what it is. Rash Patel really should be his name, because he was jumping to conclusions. He was saying the DOJ is going to get involved. Yo, what? Yeah, he's bugging, but this is his effing new name, Rash Patel. Facts.
That can happen. But bigger picture, obviously, what this has done is kind of thrown a wrench into domestic and international politics.
Yep.
Lindsey Graham, in my opinion, was one of the most effective political operators in Washington. I am
agreed. We concur. We converge.
Analytical level, I don't really appreciate how good he was at his job, but you
skillful, yes. Adept, yes. Proficient. He was very skilled. He was very able, capable, level. Yes.
I don't really
we agree, we converge.
How good he was at his job, but you do have to acknowledge that on his departure in the middle of what was...
Also, yours truly does thank Lindsey Graham for his service in the Army, yes. Every soldier who served in the Army, thank you for your service, regardless of my feelings or opinions of you as a human being or whatever. Thank you for your service in the Army. Thank you for fighting for this country. even if you change for the worse when you leave the military, thank you for your service.
Heyday. There's no denying that. And I think, if we were to look and analyze his political entrepreneurship, his opportunism, what exactly and how he was able to.
Yep.
If we were to look and analyze his political entrepreneurship, his opportunism.
Yep.
Purely describing this from an analytical level, I don't really appreciate. In my opinion, was one of the most effective political operators in Washington. I am purely describing this from an analytical level. I don't really appreciate how good he was at his job, but you do have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
On his departure in the middle of what was his heyday, there's no denying that. And I think, if we were to look and analyze his political entrepreneurship, his opportunism, what exactly and how he was able to move from 2016 to 2026 to
his
probably
first
become
term
a
of Donald
genuine
Trump.
whisperer to Donald Trump. That in and of
2016.
itself is the story.
2017, January. 2017, when Trump took office for the first time.
Was probably the most authentic neocon. The story, I think, of his life and of his entire legacy. To probably become a genuine whisperer to Donald Trump. That in and of itself is the story, I think, of his life and of his entire legacy, really, which ultimately, Senator Graham was probably the most authentic neocon in Washington. A lot of people are showing he wasn't rich. He didn't really have a lot of money. He was one of the poorest members of the United States Senate. He did it for the love of the game. And,
credits where it is due.
But what you can see from his political career, cheering on the Iraq War, from John McCain.
The war-loving, the war hawk-ish, yeah. The flip-floppery after
you can see from his political career,
saying many denunciatory remarks pertaining to DJT before DJT was in power.
Is he would utilize
the flip-floppery
system, the wins, whatever happened to be convenient within the GOP. Very often he would back them up on a few
the oscillations,
to give himself some credibility,
the contradictions,
but some space maneuver. The
wave hopping,
happened to be convenient within the GOP. Very often he would back them up on a few domestic things to give himself some credibility, but some
all of these
political
things.
System wins whatever
before this era of Lindsey Graham,
back them up on a few domestic
before the puppetness of Lindsey Graham took place, the puppetness of Trump, meant to say, before this era,
to give himself some credibility, not credibility. Political system that wins whatever happened to be on what he wanted. But what he did is he would utilize the political system to win. I guess there's some respect in that. But what you can see from his political career, cheering on the Iraq War, from
the perfidiousness, the faux America First nonsense. He said
he would utilize the political system, the wins, whatever.
The traitorism, the disloyalty to Americans,
domestic things to give himself some credibility,
to legal Americans,
space maneuver here on foreign policy. He never wavered on his foreign policy views. He did a bear hag strategy.
You have to give credit for the sticking to the war hawk-ish. He didn't vacillate or switch or deviate from the war hawk-ish. He didn't do the back and forth stuff. He really did push. He really was on the war-loving, non-dove-ish, non-peacenik-ish. He was really on the super aggressive-ish, pro-intervention-ish. He really was on this type of time. So credits for the sticking, the credits to him for sticking to that, but it is goofy that he stuck to that because it did not help Americans. Innocent people got killed. Innocent soldiers got killed. Yeah. Crazy stuff, bro.
I think of his life and of his entire legacy, really, which ultimately, Senator Graham was probably the most authentic neocon in Washington. A lot of people are showing he wasn't rich. He didn't really have a lot of money. He was one of the poorest members of the United States Senate. He did it for the love of the game. And I mean,
love for the craft.
I guess there's some respect in that. But what you can see from his political career, cheering on the Iraq
he was
War
bugging
from John
for
McCain,
this intervention BS, but this
But
pro-intervention nonsense, but he did stick to it, so credits to him.
Within the GOP, very often he would back them up on a few domestic things. Political system wins, whatever happened to be convenient within the GOP. I guess there's some respect in that. But what you can see from his political career, cheering on the Iraq War from John McCain, is he never wavered on what he wanted.
True.
But what he did is he would utilize the political system, the wins, whatever happened to be convenient within the GOP. Very often he would back them up on a few domestic things to give himself some credibility, not credibility, but some space maneuver here on foreign policy. He never wavered on his foreign policy views. He did a bear hag strategy with Donald Trump, and ultimately he won. He is the person who moved Donald Trump to where he wanted to be, which is remarkable considering where things actually started. Here's where they were. Lindsey Graham, 2016, or 2015, 2016, talking about Donald Trump. Let's take a listen.
What is your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump
in the United States? Eventually, he, of course, becomes...
Yeah, he was saying this before Trump was in power. He was saying completely different things. He called him a xenophobic bigot. He called him a race-hating xenophobic bigot. The xenophobic labels are so cringe. The xenophobic label is so cringy to me, bro. Certain people don't have a phobia. They don't have an irrational fear of immigrants. They just hate. They just condescend. They just think immigrants are inferior. This is it. There's no irrational fear of these people. So the phobia labels, they kill me, bro. They drive me up a wall, bro. Yo, so corny, so lame, so cringy. Yo. Race baiting? I disagree. Even though at the time I wasn't a fan of Trump. Now in the present moment in 2026, I really disagree with what Lindsey Graham was saying for the most part. Race baiting, xenophobic. He wasn't those things. He was entitled. He was permitted to say those things pertaining to Trump, but he was wrong. Yeah, Trump is flawed. He's indecorous. He is indecorous. He's very egotistical, hubristic. He's malicious. He's nasty. He's a liar. He's mendacious. He's a lot. He's many negative things for sure. But to say he's race baiting, to say he's xenophobic is crazy to me. To say he's those labels is crazy to me. Graham was bugging, but I get where he was coming from. I disagree with him when he says he's xenophobic and race baiting. Bigot there's more basis in reality when it comes to bigots. Bigots doesn't automatically mean racist. You can be bigoted against different many different groups. Muslims, different nationalities of people, not races, religions. Yeah, you can be bigoted. You can be bigoted against races too. You can be bigoted against a lot of different groups, but he wasn't automatically racist. Yes, he was bigoted against certain nationalities or certain nationalities, but to say he was racist, there's no evidence to prove he was racist or that he targeted only one group, one race of people, or he hated all people of certain races. Nah, bro, nah. You just disagree with what he's saying. it is okay, but to say he's racist is all the way garbage. You have to have real evidence, but people can have this opinion, but you have to have evidence for things. You have to prove things to be true. You can't just accuse people of things. You have to produce evidence, proof. But yeah, you can have your assertions, suppositions, all of these things.
For the future of the Republican Party is that he would grab Donald Trump, he would wrap himself in the veneer of it. He would, let's say, like things like the Save America Act. Lindsey knew it was never going to pass, and he didn't care. But what he decided to do is become one of the chief proponents for like things like the Save America Act. Lindsey knew it was never. Is that he would grab Donald Trump, he would wrap himself in the veneer of it. He would
the facade, like
things
the
like
illusion, the veneer.
Lindsey knew it was never going to pass, and he didn't care. But what he decided to do is become one of the chief proponents for the bill in Congress because he knew it would give him credibility with Trump. He was a major Kavanaugh defender,
Brett,
for example.
the conservative justice,
various other things. So he would back Trump on domestic political things, which he didn't particularly care about.
He worked with Democrats too. He wasn't a completely stubborn person in Congress. He was willing to go across the aisle and work with Democratic politicians, also for sure, to give credit to him.
Trump,
again,
various other things. So he would back Trump on domestic political things, which he didn't particularly care about. He would never compromise, though, on immigration or on a few of these other things, which were very near and dear to his heart. And then, at the same time, he would constantly use his rhetoric and his closeness with Trump. Number one, to get
his relationship.
But number two is he's always whispering in his ear. He was like an evil
genius.
Is he would say things. Apparently, his most common line to Trump was, "Well, that's something Obama would do, Mr. President." Whenever it came to Iran or on Russia, he was always using that ability to channel Trump. And he didn't have a family. This is literally what he actually cared about.
No wife, no children.
Trump
he was he was gay.
Saagar was always calling him on the phone late at night. It seems actually that Trump is the very last person who he spoke to before he died, and in which he was advocating for
no hate for gays.
Which is kind of incredible.
Just telling you the truth. He was gay. He had no children. He had no wife.
Endorsement whatsoever. It's just that
there was nothing to pass things down to.
Acknowledging he died at the peak of his powers, which is a remarkable.
The zenith, the summit.
Like Trump,
the crest,
ran against Lindsey Graham, who didn't want, allegedly, his own vice president. Others were his biggest opponents, supposedly in the United States Senate. But this was Lindsey's time.
At the peak of his power, but also at a time when he got what he wanted with the Iran war.
Oh, that goes without saying.
And also got to see what
a
disaster that policy was. Because you're right. I think he was ideologically committed neocon.
Yes, war hawk,
a Twitter
war lover.
That was like, somebody in Mossad is right now deleting 2 terabytes of compromise that they have on Lindsey Graham.
He had a crazy penchant, proclivity for war,
in Mossad is right now
predilection. He had, this man possessed a crazy predilection for war. He possessed a crazy predilection for war. He possessed this bloke possessed a crazy predilection for war.
A Twitter joke that was like, somebody in Mossad is right now deleting 2 terabytes of compromise that they have on Lindsey Graham.
Crazy.
A Twitter joke that was like, somebody at a time when he got what he wanted with the Iran war.
Lindsey was a fawner of a genocidal country, Israel. He was a puppet, a lackey, a minion,
you're right. I think he
a
was
toady,
ideologically committed,
crazy,
neocon,
perfidious.
A Twitter joke that was like, somebody in Mossad is right now deleting 2
But yours truly does not celebrate the death of this man. It is terrible. It is monkey. If you celebrate somebody's death just because you disagree with them or dislike them, I strongly disliked this dude. Was very averse to this dude, but
this is a man who
yours truly has integrity, morality, humanity, empathy, genuinely.
He was ideologically committed neocon. I saw a Twitter joke that was like, somebody in Mossad is right now deleting 2 terabytes of compromise that they have.
If you celebrate somebody's death just because you disagree politically, you are a monkey person. It is what it is. You suck.
lamenting
You
the
suck.
loss of this great. And you see all of it, everyone from Netanyahu
Trash.
down to
You are
Ben-Gvir,
trash.
lamenting
Garbage.
the loss of
Rubbish.
this great friend to Israel, which I think is absolutely a Twitter joke that was like, somebody in Mossad is right now deleting 2 terabytes of compromat that they have on Lindsey Graham. Maybe they had it, but no, he was in it he was committed, and you see all of it, everyone
Words.
from Netanyahu on down to Ben-Gvir,
Yep.
lamenting
These
the loss
credulous
of
people,
great
Gvir,
friend to Israel, which I think
Netanyahu,
a Twitter joke that was like, somebody in the
Sen
South right
Gvir,
now deleting 2 terabytes
Bibi
of
Netanyahu,
content that they
Bibi
have on Lindsey
Netanyahu,
Graham. Maybe they had it, but no, he was in it he
Bibi
was committed, and you see all
Netanyahu,
of it,
Bibi
everyone from Netanyahu
Netanyahu.
down to Ben-Gvir, lamenting the loss of this great friend to Israel, which I think is absolutely true. This is a man who supported the loss of this great friend to Israel, which I think is absolutely true. This is a man who supported and pushed for the Iraq War, saw what a disaster
Graham was a
that
pawn. He was a pawn.
the loss of this great
was a
friend
pawn.
to Israel, which I think is absolutely true. This is a man who supported and pushed for the Iraq War, saw what a disaster that was. I still don't think that he would say it was the wrong thing to do. He never learned from how much of a disaster
Deaths,
foreign policy that
harm,
he loved and that he advocated for.
different
how
things,
consistently disastrous
different
it was
negative
for the world,
results,
first and foremost for the countries that we were
different negative,
he loved and he
har-
advocated for, how consistently
terrible
disastrous
results.
it was for the world, first and foremost for the countries that we were attacking, but also for the
negative
US.
results.
And that has never been more abundantly clear than right now, where we got our ass kicked by a middle-rate power that we'd had sanctioned for decades, who now is a regional hegemon, thanks to the very policy that Lindsey Graham pushed, hoping to project American power and have more say over the Middle East.
Yep,
So in
domination
spite of all of the facts,
as a
all of the
militaristic
pain, and
force
middle
on the
rate
global
power
stage.
that we'd had sanctioned for
Hegemon, to those
decades,
who don't
now
know the
is a
spelling,
regional
Hegemon,
policy that Lindsey Graham pushed, hoping to project American power and have more say over the Middle East.
Yep, control.
So in spite of all of the facts and all of the pain and all of the destruction,
Yep,
he
death.
never took that in. He never adjusted
Damage.
1 iota to the
Of
reality.
buildings,
And
edifices.
so there's kind of an incredible Fox clip coming around, which is they're going around, which they're talking about Lindsey Graham and his legacy, blah, blah, blah. And they have to interrupt that to announce new bombings of Iran.
I know, yeah.
Could
Nuts.
not be more
Nuts.